Today we are working Psalm 25. In traditional psalm magic, Psalm 25 is frequently used for such purposes as guidance in any matter, to receive forgiveness, for enlightenment, to end an attack, for inspiration, to access the higher self, and to meet your guide. Today we are going to work Psalm 25 to receive guidance on any situation. So if there's a question in your mind or you don't know where to turn or what to do, working Psalm 25 is a way to find that inner guidance. The way we work psalm magic is simple, easy, and effective. We take the psalm that we're working and we speak it out loud all the way through once without stopping. We call this an incantation. And we go back through that psalm and we search for those hidden meanings that lie behind each verse. And by searching and digging, contemplating, and doing our best to apply what we find there to the situation at hand, we are shaking the tree, so to speak. We are dislodging the seeds that exist within the psalm. And those magic seeds then get planted in the depths of our deep mind, where they take root, they grow, they blossom forth, and they bear fruit after their kind. And that is precisely what you and I are going to do together right now with Psalm 25. Unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. O my God, I trust in thee. Let me not be ashamed. Let not mine enemies triumph over me. Yea, let none that wait on thee be ashamed. Let them be ashamed which transgress without cause. Show me thy ways, O Lord, teach me thy paths. Lead me in thy truth and teach me, for thou art the God of my salvation. On thee do I wait all the day. Remember, O Lord, thy tender mercies and thy loving kindnesses, for they have been forever of old. Remember not the sins of my youth, nor my transgressions. According to thy mercy remember thou me, for thy goodness' sake, O Lord. Good and upright is the Lord, therefore will he teach sinners in the way. The meek will he guide in judgment, and the meek will he teach his way. All the paths of the Lord are mercy and truth unto such as keep his covenant and his testimonies. For thy name's sake, O Lord, pardon mine iniquity, for it is great. What man is he that feareth the Lord? Him shall he teach in the way that he shall choose. His soul shall dwell at ease, and his seed shall inherit the earth. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. Mine eyes are ever toward the Lord, for he shall pluck my feet out of the net. Turn thee unto me, and have mercy unto me, for I am desolate and afflicted. The troubles of my heart are enlarged. O bring thou me out of my distress. Look upon mine affliction and my pain, and forgive all my sins. Consider mine enemies, for they are many, and they hate me with cruel hatred. O keep my soul and deliver me. Let me not be ashamed, for I put my trust in thee. Let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait on thee. Redeem Israel, O God, out of all his troubles. Psalm 25 is an acrostic psalm. There are 22 verses, and each verse in Hebrew starts with a letter of the Hebrew alphabet successively from the beginning to end. And so this is one of those magical formula type psalms. So regardless of what you're using it for, if you think of it in terms of a magical formula, which all the psalms technically are, but this one really does lean into the magic. It starts out with, Unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. Let's think of the soul not in the same terms as what we in modern days think of the soul, which is that eternal part of ourselves, which is untouchable, the unchangeable creation that we are, that is very different than the egos that we've concocted. Let's instead think of the soul in an ancient manner, which is what would be more akin to the deep habitual mind. So, unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. Now, when we are addressing the Lord in the Psalms, it's important that we orient ourselves first and foremost to whom we are addressing. The Lord is the tetragrammaton Yud-He-Vav-He, which is a symbol to us in magic of the one power, the force, if you will. The one force, the one source, the one substance in all the universe. There is all oneness. There is all unity. All is one. And that's the mystery. And since there's only one, there's nothing that can go up against it. And since nothing can go up against it, our success in this operation is assured. So if you are coming to this psalm for anything, but in our example today, coming for guidance, we know that we'll get the guidance because there is only one and there's nothing to oppose it. Unto thee, O Lord, unto thee, O thou force, the infinite force of all that is, pre-gender, not male, not female, not a separate deity, but allness. Unto thee do I lift up that habitual mind of mine. Why is that so important? Because it's impossible to receive guidance if you're talking to yourself. And the habitual mind loves to talk to itself and to project things onto the screen of space, project things onto our contemplative faculties for us to become engrossed in thought loops, to keep us kind of stuck and in an anesthetic state. And so instead, what we're asking for is we're going to lift up that habitual mind to the infinite so that we can have it be cleansed, we can have it be put on hold for a moment so that we can listen to the guidance that we are asking for. O my God, I trust in thee, let me not be ashamed, let not mine enemies triumph over me. Shame and guilt are two of the biggest culprits to not being able to hear the internal guidance. If you're ashamed of something, if you're guilty about something, and it's mostly existential guilt, we're born into this world of separation feeling guilty and we don't ever really understand why. It's just a product of this world. But while we have that, it's impossible for us to fully listen to the guidance that we're asking for. So we're asking for the infinite to relieve us from that, at least for now, so that we can hear clearly. I trust in thee, let me not be ashamed, let not mine enemies triumph over me. Right now, the enemies would be our wandering minds, our chattering minds, our thoughts of whatever it is that we're trying to get guidance on. It's impossible to be guided if you're already thinking and ruminating over it and obsessing over it and coming up with your own ideas about what things mean. Let's say you have a problem with your relationship. You guys had a big fight or something and you're asking for guidance on this and you're ruminating over what they said and you shouldn't have said that and why am I so mad? We're asking for just, I can return to this later. Please put this on hold. Please let this go. Let these enemies in my mind go so that I can hear your guidance. Yea, let none that wait on thee be ashamed. Let them be ashamed which transgress without cause. So let the ego mind deal with its shame all it wants to, but I'm not listening to the ego mind. I'm listening to you. In other words, I'm fine with the ego mind being white noise in the background that I'm not paying attention to. Let none that wait on thee be ashamed. So we're waiting or listening, in this case, that's what waiting means. We're listening to the infinite, and we can only hear the voice of the infinite when we can quell our internal guilt. And remember that the ego mind's game is to make us feel guilty about something. And say we're really clear that we don't want to feel guilty anymore about anything, even existential guilt. We don't want that. The ego mind is very accommodating, and it'll turn down the volume of the guilt. So it's just a little mild guilt, but just enough for us to not listen fully to the infinite. So we're not playing those games. We're not going to try to deal with the ego on our own. We're given the whole enchilada to the infinite to deal with for us. Every single part of it. Show me thy ways, O Lord, teach me thy paths. So this is an outright petition. Help me, show me, teach me. I'm your student. I'm an empty rice bowl, to borrow from Zen. I'm an empty mind. I'm a child mind. I'm a clean slate. And I want you to show me and to teach me. I don't know what anything means. Verse number 4 is basically saying, whatever it is that I'm asking for guidance on, I'm being clear that I don't understand it. I think I understand it. My ego wants me to think I understand it, but I know that that's a ploy to not listen to you. Because the mind can't do two things at once, can it? It thinks it can multitask, but it can't. You're either listening to the infinite or you're listening to the ego, but you can't do both. You're either tuned to 7:40 a.m. or you're tuned to 8:20 a.m. You can't listen to both of those stations at the same time. So we're going to put all of our attention on the infinite. Lead me in thy truth and teach me, for thou art the God of my salvation. On thee do I wait all the day long. I'm listening only to you. That's the waiting here. Think of wait as listening. It's not like you're waiting and checking your watch. Is the infinite ever going to help me? Is this coming? Is this coming? It's not that kind of waiting. I'm listening to you. I want you to tell me. I'm not telling you anything. I'm the receiver, not the transmitter. I don't want to transmit any more to you other than my request to receive. And then I'm going to stay open. I'm going to stay open and receptive to your guidance, to your teachings, it says here, but that's to your guidance. Lead me in thy truth. Right? We want to be led in the infinite's truth, not in the ego's facts. The ego talks about truth all the time. It'll say, see, these facts, but it adds up all the facts to equal a lie. So we want the whole truth, yes, including the facts, but we want to know what everything means. And the only way we can get there is by being very clear that we don't know what anything, including this, means. So I'm going to wait on you. I'm going to listen to you all day long, not just now, not just in my momentary meditation, but as I go through my day. I'm asking over and over and over again, infinite lead me, infinite guide me. Remember, O Lord, thy tender mercies and thy loving kindnesses, for they have been ever of old. And it's so important to understand that it's not like now because we found the secret formula, or now because we've supplicated, or now because we've given the right kind of sacrifice or something. Now the infinite's going to be nice to us. The infinite's always loving kindness. That's part of its quality. Sphere number 4 on the Hermetic tree is loving kindness. It's hesed. It's mercy. And that is a quality of the infinite. Infinite mercy, infinite love, infinite kindness. And it never stops. It has never stopped. The infinite's never stopped loving you and wanting to help you. It's not because of you doing something special that the infinite's helping you. It's that you're learning how to tune into the infinite's help that's always been there, broadcasting, waiting for you to listen. Remember not the sins of my youth, nor my transgressions. According to thy mercy, remember thou me for thy goodness' sake, O Lord. The infinite isn't the ego. The ego tallies up your so-called transgressions, all of your mistakes, and holds them against you. Isn't that the truth? Don't you hold everything against yourself? And usually, if you're one of the people that love to accuse other people of not being good enough, or being evil, or being bad, because of all of the evidence to support that, it's usually nothing compared to what you do in secret to yourself. We're understanding this, we're taking responsibility for that, and we're recognizing that the infinite doesn't act like that. It's not part of the infinite's nature to condemn us and to want to punish us. Punishment is of the ego, not of the infinite. We're being clear here. We're not asking for the infinite to do something outside of its nature. Oh, please be nice to me. Please forgive me for my past transgressions. That's already a done deal. That's already part of it. You don't have to convince the infinite to see you as innocent and righteous because that's how you were created. The infinite doesn't regard your ego because it understands that the ego is an illusion, as is this world. But the infinite is very capable of helping you even within this artificial world that we live in, within this illusion. Good and upright is the Lord, therefore will he teach sinners in the way. Now, sinners meaning not that you're a miserable sinner and you should feel bad about yourself, but just like everybody else here in this world of separation, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time, and so does everybody else. And it's really easy for us to say, but your mistakes are worse than mine, or my mistakes were worse than yours, or whatever the game happens to be. But get that that's of the ego, not of the infinite. The infinite's not tallying up your sins. That's the ego's game. So therefore, will he teach sinners in the way? So the infinite's goal here is to teach you, is to show you that you're not a sinner, that you've never sinned. Nobody else has either on the ultimate level. Nobody else has sinned either. And so we have to give all of our judgment up, at least for now, if we want to be guided. We've got to get rid of all of that nonsense chatter in our mind about either how we're not good enough or they're not good enough or whatever it is, and recognize that the infinite doesn't care. The infinite's here to help. The infinite wants to teach us, to guide us, to lead us. And all of the rest of that nonsense is not part of the infinite. That's all part of our ego mind. The meek will he guide in judgment, and the meek will he teach his way. And it's only the meek that can have this, because remember what the meek is. The meek is the peaceful. The meek is the adept. The meek is the disciplined, the trained. And it's not that the infinite's only doing it for the meek because everybody else doesn't deserve it. The infinite's doing it for the meek because the meek are tuned into this station. They're receiving it. They're not interfering with the transmission. It's not because God loves the meek better than the non-meek. It's that the meek are tuned into the station so they can receive the guidance. All the paths of the Lord are mercy and truth unto such as keep his covenant and his testimonies. So no matter what path you're on, it's the path of the infinite if you're recognizing that it's leading you to mercy and truth. And no matter what path you're on, you can be diverted into mercy and truth, no matter what weird path you're on. You could be on the worst path in the universe, going into the depths of depravity and pain. It doesn't matter, because the infinite will lead you right out of it. There's always an outlet for you to get out of whatever path you're on and into that mercy and truth. Unto such as keep his covenant and his testimonies. How do you keep the covenant and the testimonies of the infinite? By listening, by asking, by focusing your attention on the infinite. The covenant is the law. Whenever there's a promise in the Psalms, that's a symbol for a law. So the promise of keeping your feet on the ground is the law of gravity. The testimony is the understanding that the law is true. So not only does the law of gravity work, but you're a testament to that law of gravity by the fact that your feet are on the ground. So there's the law and the testimony. But the basic law of the infinite is the law of cause and effect. If you understand that for every effect in your life there has been a cause, and you're walking testimony of that, for good or for ill, now you're understanding, oh, I get it. If I just turn my attention on the infinite, that can be the cause, and the effect in my life can be very different. So that's unto such as keep his covenant and his testimonies. In other words, those who listen and put their attention on the infinite are going to get the effects of that cause. For thy name's sake, O Lord, pardon mine iniquity, for it is great. It's always a good thing to recognize, whoa, was I off track? That doesn't mean that you're a miserable sinner and that you deserve to be punished, that you're talking down to yourself and you're deprecating yourself. It's always good, though, to say, whoa, I was trying to get to New York and I've been on the road to Mexico this whole time. I better turn. I better change my direction if I want to get to where I'm going. That's an important thing. So, O Lord, pardon mine iniquity, for it is great. In other words, I'm going the wrong way. Please help me. Guide me. Turn on the navigator. Turn on my GPS so I can hear your words of guidance and go where I want to go instead of where I'm headed. What man is he that feareth the Lord? Him shall he teach in the way that he shall choose. The way that the infinite will teach you will be the way that is appropriate for you. Nobody can tell you what your relationship with the infinite is supposed to look like, because it's going to be very unique unto you. But the caveat here is that you must fear the Lord. And we understand that fear means awe. It doesn't mean being afraid. Like you might be afraid if you hear a burglar in your house. That's fear. That's not what we're talking about when we're talking about the fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord is not that kind of fear. The fear of the Lord is awe. Because when you are in awe of the infinite, you are acknowledging and experiencing viscerally its presence. And the very feeling of that presence is transformative in and of itself. In fact, it's the only transformative substance in the universe that you need to worry about. The fear of the Lord, the acknowledgement and experience of the presence of the infinite. And when you're feeling that experience of the presence of the infinite, you are guidable, you are teachable, because you're tuned into the station. But remember, the way that you are going to be guided will be perfect for you. And if somebody else says, oh no, that wouldn't have been the way that the infinite teaches, that the infinite doesn't do that, they don't know. You'll know because you'll get the result. You'll know that it was right because you'll get the result. And if you're feeling the presence of the infinite, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know, that you're on the right track. His soul shall dwell at ease, and his seed shall inherit the earth. Now, the earth is your life, your circumstances. And in regards to this spell, it's the circumstance for which you are coming to the psalm in order to receive guidance. And the soul, meaning the deep mind, will be at ease. Can you imagine what that feels like? To have your deep mind, your subconscious mind, to be at ease? You're never stewing about anything. You're never looking over your shoulder. You're never anxious. You're never upset. Everything is just easy peasy. That's what we're going for here. His soul shall dwell at ease. It's an added benefit. Of course, you're going to get the guidance that you need in regards to this circumstance, but you're also going to have your inner mind, your deep mind, be at ease. You're going to actually be able to relax. And his seed shall inherit the earth. The seed inheriting the earth means that you're going to get what you want out of this situation. It's going to be fabulous. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. Secret. It's in secret. You and the infinite. No intermediaries. It's best that you don't even tell people what you're getting out of this experience. It's secret. The secret is flowing to you through that experience of the presence, through that experience of the awe that you are responding to this presence with. That's the fear of the Lord. Not only that, but the infinite's going to show you the covenant. In other words, show you how the laws of the universe work. And when you're shown how the laws of the universe work, you get what you want. You get your answer. Mine eyes are ever toward the Lord, for he shall pluck my feet out of the net. My eyes are ever toward the Lord. It's saying the same thing that it was saying before in a new way. I'm going to, anytime I catch myself thinking about my problem, thinking about whatever it is, ruminating, being afraid about things in the world, wherever my ego mind is keeping my mind busy, I'm going to notice it and gently shift it back to the infinite. That's my eyes ever toward the Lord. And it's okay if you have to do it over and over and over and over and over again. It doesn't mean you're defective. It means you're a human being that's living in this world. Our minds tend to wander, and they tend to be habituated toward whatever they're habituated toward. And in this world, most minds, if not all, are habituated toward really negative, gross stuff. And so, yeah, it does take some effort every single day when you notice that your mind is focused on everything that you don't want, to gently focus it back on the infinite. For he shall pluck my feet out of the net. You can't expect the infinite to pluck your feet out of the net if all you're doing is focusing on the net. Because two things are going on there. If your thoughts are putting you in a trap, your thoughts are powerful, something that the infinite gave you, and you have the freedom to do that, something else that the infinite gave you. You can have as much trapping as you want. You can be embroiled in this net as much as you want. And you might say, well, I don't want that. Well, your focus and your habituation would say otherwise. What are you habitually thinking? What are you habitually saying? What are you habitually doing? That's showing you what you want. So we're saying no. When I notice those old addictive thought patterns, I'm going to gently shift my focus back on the infinite over and over and over again. That's all it takes. Turn thee unto me and have mercy upon me, for I am desolate and afflicted. I don't like my situation. I don't know what to do. I've tried to fix it. I can't fix it. Nothing's working for me. Please help me. The troubles of my heart are enlarged. Oh, bring thou me out of my distresses. The heart is another symbol that means the same thing in these Psalms as the soul. Deep mind, habitual mind. The troubles of my heart. When you know something by heart, it's memorized. You can do it backwards and forwards. I can recite that speech by heart. I can play that piano piece by heart. It's talking about here that you know your troubles by heart. You know your troubles by heart. And because you know your troubles by heart, guess what you get? Troubles. And they're enlarged because that's the nature of the mind is expansiveness. So we're saying, I got that. So I'm going to put my focus back on the infinite in order to bring me out of these distresses. Look upon mine affliction and my pain and forgive all my sins. Let's not think in terms of sins like, oh, even though I don't deserve this, even though I'm the architect of all these problems, please have mercy on this poor downtrodden soul. I'm a wretch. It's not that. It's disregard everything that I've done with my mind in order for these things to manifest and show me your truth instead. The great undoing of any mistake is in a flash. But we have to be committed to it. We have to commit to take our mind off that problem and put our mind back on the infinite. Consider mine enemies, for they are many, and they hate me with cruel hatred. Now, you may have enemies that hate you with cruel hatred in the world. That's not good. So, of course, we don't want you to have to deal with that. And if that's what you're dealing with, we want the infinite to take care of that for you. But again, they're nothing in comparison to the cruel enemies within your mind. And how much self-hatred that we have. Cruel self-hatred. How cruel are we to ourselves? I've spoken several times about once I had a teacher that gave me the assignment to just listen to the things I said to myself all through the day. Under my breath. Just listen, just notice. And I thought, well, that's not that hard of a thing to do. Well, for one thing, it's really hard not to go unconscious when you start talking to yourself. But when I did go conscious, I was amazed and appalled at the hideous things I would say to myself. I would never speak to anybody like that. Even people I didn't like, I would never speak to them like that. And if I did, it would be very rare. But it was my normal litany to myself. So, consider mine enemies, for they are many, and they hate me with cruel hatred. O keep my soul and deliver me. Let me not be ashamed, for I put my trust in thee. In other words, I don't have to know how to get rid of all of these tendencies towards self-hatred. I don't need to figure it out. I don't need to do a bunch of stuff. I just need to recognize I don't want it. And if I can turn to the infinite and put my focus on the infinite knows what to do with all of those thoughts. The infinite knows what to do with the ego. The infinite knows what to do with all of it. I don't have to do anything except for recognize that I don't know what the real problem is. I don't understand the problem. I don't know what to do about it. I'll never be able to figure out what to do with it. And I don't need to know what to do about it. I just need to turn to the infinite and let the infinite handle it for me and through me. For I put my trust in thee. Let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait on thee. Well, what's integrity and uprightness in this situation? Recognizing that I don't know anything. It's a real blow to the ego, and people don't like the idea that they don't know anything. Of course I know things. Look how I have an MBA. I have a PhD. I know things. Well, okay. Your ego knows a lot of stuff, and a lot of it can be used. A lot of it's wonderful. The bigger your vocabulary, the easier it is for the infinite to teach you. So it's not that those things are bad. It's just that you don't really understand how to use your knowledge. Not if you aren't focused on the infinite. If you're focused on the ego, it's never going to get you what you want. But if you turn all of that over to the infinite, it'll all be used for your good. It'll all be used to teach you, to show you, to make sure that you get happy, and to recognize that you're perfect the way you are, and that the infinite doesn't hold any of your past against you, and it doesn't hold the past of anybody else against them, and that you're safe, and that your problem is solved, and you know exactly what to do when you allow yourself to be guided. That's integrity and uprightness. Redeem Israel, O God, out of all his troubles. It shows us here that it's talking about Jacob because it's his troubles. If it was talking about Israel as a nation, which is another symbol, it would be her troubles. So Jacob, remember, had a complete 180 in the stories of the Bible. And Jacob is a symbol for us, regardless of what my past is, regardless of how much I think I deserve whatever it is that's happening, regardless of anything about how I misperceive myself or misperceive the situation, it doesn't matter, because just like in the story, when the infinite said, I now rename you Israel, Jacob, meaning I'm initiating you into wisdom, so does the infinite now initiate you into wisdom. And that's how you are redeemed out of all your troubles. And it happens in a flash. So keep coming back to this psalm once a day until you just get a sense of peace and certainty that your spell has been cast and you don't have to work on it anymore. It may happen just with one repetition. You may not have to come back day after day. But if you do, it's okay. You can repeat it as many times as you need to until you get that little click that you know everything's working out. You have peace, you have certainty that all is well. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Until next time, blessed be.